Life. Life is life. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. We might solve a mystery or rewrite history. Ducktales. Woo-hoo. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of JohnHexx. I thought the first real video on the revamped Degeneration Hex should be on the first thing that I ever showed my face on, any piece of content that I've ever made. And that was a Ducktales video. Years and years and years ago. I don't even know how many years it's been. Probably 3 or more. And I remember that the only reason I made it was because I lost some game footage. And I was angry about it. And I always made content as if, even if nobody was watching, I always made it as if I had people waiting on it. And in the instance where I lost footage that I wanted to put in another series, in my mind, to make up for it, I did this video to make up for the mistake I made of accidentally, I guess, deleting footage that I needed. I'm gonna do this video, and it just so happened to be that Ducktales was coming out with a reboot, and the cast of the new Ducktales reboot made a video singing the theme song. Let's take a look back in memory lane. So obviously this is going to be cringy, but as I said, this was the first video piece of content that I ever showed my face on. And as soon as I clicked on the video, I hear me clear my throat here, and automatically this first part really wasn't supposed to be in the video, but I thought it would be funny, which it wasn't. But to say, this is me pre-recording, clearing my throat, and then saying I got some shit in my throat, and thinking that would be funny just to leave in. But anyway, let's take a trip down memory lane first before we get to the topic at hand. Okay, that was probably a jump cut there. I didn't have my sound cut on for the video. Here we go.
Damn. All of a sudden I got a damn shit in my throat.
Trip down memory lane.
This is Degeneration Heck, or as I like to call it, DGH.
And the first thing you
notice of the channel where
I stop it here. First thing you notice, this is the hardest thing to do when you're making videos or streaming or anything. Audio. And if you're just starting out, especially in these days, back in those days, audio was terrible. I don't even know what I'm using. I don't even have a headset on here. What was I using for audio? A microphone. Probably the camera mic. Interesting. But here, I think I threw up some kind of green sheet or something on something behind me. And because I was going by the name Midnight Man back in those days. So that's what the midnight is back there for. But trying to think. Oh yeah, I'm sitting. I don't know. It was a lousy setup. Let's just put it that way. But like I said, if you're just starting out doing content, you don't need like a bunch of expensive stuff anyway. Let's get it. Let's restart it.
My take on stuff. It's about Ducktales. Ducktales, one of my all-time favorite cartoons. I was definitely a Disney afternoon person. Dark Wayne, Tailspin, DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, all that stuff was my favorite being.
And the first thing here, I knew this was part of it, is the squeaky seat that I'm sitting in. I don't even know what I'm sitting on, but it was squeaky as hell.
A person who grew up in the 90s. My excitement went to another level when I heard that DuckTales was coming back. Super excited. Then I've seen the cast recently, and now I'm starting to get worried on what they're going to do. Are they going to butcher my classic? I don't know. But anyway.
Also, you can tell that the webcam coloring is off as well because I'm orange. But go ahead.
Right now, I'm about to watch all new DuckTales cast sings the original theme song.
And probably it was coming from a light. I was probably using some kind of lamp for lighting. So that's probably where that color is coming from.
Let's do this.
For your consideration, the theme to DuckTales.
You cannot hear that theme song and not want to join along and sing along with it. I did it a little bit here, but I was kind of forgetting the lyrics, so I would back off at certain points. But I know hearing that theme song just put a sense of nostalgia in me when I was doing this. And I just could not help to contain my smile and all that stuff. Because you think about stuff from your childhood like this, and I think especially the good memories, like it kind of fills you with that nostalgic feeling of joy. You kind of get that feeling you had that when you were young. But it's just like a little flash memory of how it felt when you heard that when you were, I don't know, 10 years old, 12, however old I was when I was watching this show originally.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. Look at danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. Woo! What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales. Woo! Every day we're out there making DuckTales. Woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. Woo! And not ponytails or cottontails, no DuckTales. Woo!
I'm butchering the song. Sorry to expose you to my singing, but that's just too good. Amazing. See, they don't even have that on TV no more. Theme songs like that. Awesome. Well, It's my Ducktales take, as always here on the channel.
The first time I did this, I didn't even know how I was going to close out the video. And this became a staple for a little while on the channel. And I just did this on the fly as I closed the video out. It wasn't something that was pre-planned or anything. This was ad-libbed as I was closing the video.
Your midnight hour is at hand. Woo.
So I thought it would be only right to bring it full circle. As you know, the reboot, or you may not know, the reboot is over. I think they had their last episode sometime, was it last year? I watched it late. I would always watch these DuckTales episodes late, and then I would go back and watch them on demand or something. So one day I went on to watch like the latest episodes and didn't realize that it was over. I was watching the final episodes. So what I want to do here is kind of talk about the series. But before I do, I need to refresh my memory. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rewatch the finale. And I will be right back with the magic of editing to give you my thoughts. Now, I'm not going to live react to it. I've already watched it before, but it's been so long that I need to refresh my memory on that finale. I remember some big moments, but I just want to be clear once again on that last episode. But like I said, I'm not going to do it live here in this recording because reacting live to the premiere, and I got blocked worldwide for that video. So some people can get away with it, some people cannot. I will not take those chances. So I will watch it and I'll wrap up this series in this full circle DuckTales moment. Be right back. If you haven't watched this series and you want to watch it, what I'm going to discuss after this is spoiler territory. So get out now or forever hold your peace. So I'm not going to say this is a review. I hate the term, even though it's correct in a way, review. But I feel like reviews act as if their word is the only word, right? They'll say something's good or okay or it sucks. And you're supposed to take their word for it, even though there's always going to be biases in reviews. Whatever you like, whatever taste you have, everyone's is different. So how can you possibly give a blanket review on how good something is? It's more opinions than reviews. As I always say, somebody's going to look at something and they're going to say it's trash. Another person's going to look at it and they're going to like it. That's just how it is. So on this channel, if I ever use the term review or put it in the title or something, it's because I'm doing it for the searches. Because if you don't know how video and YouTube and all that stuff works, if you put certain terms in the title, people will search it. Let's say they're typing DuckTales review, finale review, or whatever. Then your video has a better chance of being discovered because of that. So if I ever use the term review and it's in the title, it's because of that. It's for search purposes. It's not because I'm saying that it's a review. These are my opinions. These are my analysis. The show overall was good. Great. Exceeded my expectations I first heard about it in that earlier video that I said I was very excited. But then I was thinking there was no way they could possibly do it justice. There's no way they're going to live up to what it was in my childhood. One thing I had to do was let go of it because it's a reboot. It's not like a what's the term I'm looking for here? Let's say like the Lion King so-called live action remake. Even though it isn't live action because those aren't real animals. They're still computer animated. So I didn't get the term live action. But basically that movie was shot for shot the same exact movie as it was in the cartoon version, the animated version. Nothing different. Well, not much different. There's probably small differences. You have to ask yourself, when people do remakes and reboots, do you want a shot for shot, just the same exact thing you had when the original was made? Or in a reimagining, in a reboot, they just take the property and do what they want to do with it and craft it the way that they want to craft it and make the story the way they want it to. If you would have asked me then, when I made that original video, I probably would have wanted it more close to the original. Now that I've been involved in the content space for a while, creativity and things are something that I admire. So for someone to take their own take on the story is a good thing. It may not always turn out great, but it's a good thing. This series, their big episodes, their epic episodes were great. And there are some one-off episodes that were kind of cartoony and kiddie. I guess what I'm saying is there are episodes that are great for everyone. Then I think there's some episodes that are kind of one-offs that are more just typical Saturday morning cartoon type stuff. But all in all, the series lived up, in my opinion. Now, these are all the characters in the show. This picture beside me. And I've made no secret about it in the past that Darkwing Duck is my favorite cartoon of all time. And to see that Darkwing standing in that picture as one of the side characters in this series was awesome. They also did that character justice, even though, again, on another channel, I complain about his first appearances. But they gave everyone a new story, kind of a new coming to like justice moment. Darkwing Duck didn't become Darkwing Duck the same way as he did in the original, even though we don't know how he became Darkwing Duck in the original because he was already Darkwing Duck. But the Darkwing Duck in this series, he got there, and I'm being vague even though I said this was spoilers, he got there a different way. And he got Goslin in a different way. Such as Gizmo Duck. Gizmo Duck became Gizmo Duck in a different way. The Chippendale Rescue Rangers, we found out a backstory about them. And they became the Rescue Rangers in a different way. Even though their appearances were like minor. We do find out that they were basically, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, they were test like rodents, and that's how they became the Rescue Rangers. That's how they got their intelligence and things of that nature. Anything Darkwing had a major role in, his origin story episode, basically. The reimagining of the original pilot redone in this series, and his couple other appearances. Those were all my favorite. In fact, I'll run some of the Darkwing clips beside me right now. Hopefully they'll stay in and not get blocked. But there are counter rumors floating around that Darkwing could have his own rebooted series. But do I think it'll happen? I think it's probably a coin flip that will happen. Before I did this video, I looked back at it to check it out, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I hope, but I don't think it's gonna happen actually. Just the way they infused all the Disney Afternoon characters into this show. And if you don't remember Disney Afternoon, it's basically what? Tailspin, Ducktales, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Who am I leaving out? Gargoyles. All those shows, they kind of found a way to kind of make reference to those shows or put those characters into the show and have some kind of cameo, or such as Darkwing have a even bigger side role in the show. So the way they paid homage to those old series, I just thought was really well done. And finally, the finale. The finale was one of those epic episodes that I was talking about. It's a big adventure, and everyone involved in this picture, I believe, I'm trying to think if Duckworth had. I don't remember seeing him, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. Everyone in this picture is in that episode. And we saw Darkwing. We saw the Rescue Rangers. And the biggest moment of the episode for me, because we've seen the Rescue Rangers a little bit before. We've seen Darkwing have big moments before. But they had a Gargoyles moment in that episode that I did not expect. And when that moment happened, when I first watched it, I lost it. So again, I'm not going to elaborate, but it's a big moment to me. But at the end of the day, the series was just about family and the core group, which is Scrooge McDuck, the triplets, Webigail, that whole household. And their bond, their adventure, and their connection. That family is stronger and could conquer anything as long as they're together. That was basically the message I got out of this series and out of this finale. Well done. They did it justice. This is the full circle moment. The first video back. It's the first video I ever showed my face on. I was talking about Ducktales being announced and it was coming back. And here we are. Even though it's way late after the finale, I did want the first video back to be Ducktales and the end of the series. So what's the future? Do we get a spinoff of any of these characters? Do I get my next version of Darkwing Duck moving forward? Does he get a reboot? I can only hope. And I'm going to end this in a way that I haven't ended it in years probably. Just a throwback to the old Midnight Man days. Already chuckling thinking about it. Your midnight hour is at hand.